know we were expecting some new developments this weekend, but some of them have failed quality control. Make sure you indicate what you'd like redeveloped via the workstation.
Well, thank you very much for fucking up my R&D. Well, that was a great start to episode 3 of my Lando Norris career mode, but before we get into it in depth, I just want to say thank you, because at the time of recording now I've hit 100 subscribers, and I just want to say a big thank you to everyone out there who's one of those subscribers. It really means a lot to me that you wanted to click the subscribe button on my channel, and I really appreciate it. I may have a video coming. I don't really know what to do with it yet, but hopefully I will be at some point. And then another thing, as you can see right now, we're just looking at the failed part, which obviously have to redevelop, but that's probably going to be on the car for next race, I believe. Also got to congratulate Lando Norris for actually getting the McLaren seat, which is just announced at the time of recording this. So I did predict it, even though probably a lot of people did. But it's just made this career a lot more relevant, to be honest. As I'm now just going to go, into practice and do all the hard work. There's no reason showing you guys all that. And we have finished practice now, and we're heading into qualifying. China is not my best track historically, but actually I've been getting better and better into the weekend, and obviously getting through Q1 wasn't really an issue. Unfortunately, we had to use the auto soft tires, but I didn't really expect us to have to do. But as you can see in qualifying 2, actually we made it into Q3 with a 5th place. That's actually quite impressive, as we now on our first run in Q3 got in a P4, which is quite impressive. Then on our second run, I thought it was quite tricky for me to hook up the lap, because the first run was really good. As you can see, I am actually behind on my lap right now, so I'm just showing you some bits of it. And I was trying to get that extra performance out, but it was really tricky. And it's first in the final sector, as you can see now, that I managed to get a little bit, and we actually end up in P6 on the grid for China, which I know is very unrealistic for the McLaren. I don't know why exactly we are here, but as you can see by the standings, Fernando Alonso is P7. I know I out-qualified him by quite a bit, but that was only because I really found something extra in the final sector in that lap. But we are 6th and 7th. I think Ricardo got out in Q2, which is why he isn't here to take that 6th spot away from us. But we're best of the rest, so to speak. And so obviously my goal for the race, as we now have the interview here. Yeah, it was a good day, I'd say.
It's been a great qualifying session for you. Are you going to carry that momentum into the race?
Well, yeah. Chassis department will notice. I guess that's a positive thing.
How do you think things are going to go for you?
It's tricky though. Yeah, great team. Sportsmanship. That it?
Great. Well, that's everything.
It's just the most useless feature ever, but obviously you gotta spend your budget on something. There's no reason to fix multiplayer, but that's just a whole nother debate. As we're now getting into race, as you can see, we're on the grid. We're in P5 because I think Valtteri Bottas had a grid penalty, and we are away. And we get an okay start. No, we got a bad start. It's sort of it's just the classic same thing with me. Bad start every single time. As Alonso gone past us and just misjudged the turning in point a little bit, as we actually hit one of the Renaults now. As we try and go around the outside of both the Renaults and reclaim our positions. As we now lock up a tiny bit on both tires, but we push the Renaults wide, and we are still in P6. Luckily we managed to escape the graph of the Renaults there, because they were going to take that position away from me. It's now diving from way behind and squeeze Alonso a little bit. It's probably a bit of a dirty move, but we got to do what we got to do. Is now try and go around outside. We actually hit Alonso, but luckily we didn't lose our front wing. That could easily have gone wrong. Because now we nearly collided with one of the Renaults as well, as we've now got Ricardo getting in amongst it as well. He's want to get up through the field from starting like P11 or P12, so he's made up quite a few positions already. And so we've now sort of escaped them a little bit, but we've got Ricardo behind us, and obviously he's a lot faster than us, so I'm expecting him to maybe get past us on this straight, because even with a low setup, lower wing setup, the AI is still incredibly fast on the straight for some reason. I think it's just how Codemasters have made it competitive, and as you can see, yeah, it's just going straight past me. even though we both have the same engine. As we now go on the outside, he's trying to take the inside Ricardo, but we managed to hang around the outside. We actually managed to keep the position, which I didn't really think we were able to, but we are using quite a bit of versus. No one saw that corner cut, you know, just look it all away, there's nothing to see. As that helped us a little bit to gain some yards on Ricardo here. He tries to maybe have a little bit of a look into turn 1, but we're not allowing him to do that, as we are still close with Alonso, as obviously we don't want to lose too much distance to him while we are fighting Ricardo, as we are probably similar pace. I think he's probably got more pace in the race, as now Ricardo dives up our inside and there's nothing I can do. I'll try and chuck it around the outside again, but he just has to move done, it seems. Yeah, and there's nothing I can do. We're just gonna have to follow him around, but we're still in P7, which, you know, considering where the McLaren are in real life, that is, you know, way better than to be expected. So I'm actually quite happy, and also for myself, because I hate China with a passion. I hate this track so much. It's one of the worst ones on the calendar, if not the worst track. I'd rather do 2 races at Monaco than doing a China race. So now have Grosjean behind us, and Grosjean's obviously got that Ferrari superior engine, so he's probably going to be very, very dangerous here on the straight. The thing is, I also have to keep out a little bit of a watch on the ERS, obviously, because McLaren's ERS aren't that good, so it runs out quite easy. As now Grosjean is looking to make a move on us. We go to the inside to defend it. He's trying to go around the outside, and we actually collide a little bit, because I think there were a bit of smoke as well, and he's now on our inside. But we are on his outside. Can we try and pull a switchback move into turn 1? We do very well, and Grosjean just got hit by the Codemasters AI syndrome, where they just park on the apex, and that's giving us a breathing space there into turn 1, and we're still in P7. We managed to defend from now. Hopefully the race will settle a little bit and we can try and get after Alonso, as we now cut later onto lap 3, and Grosjean won't leave us alone. He's now diving up the inside before going into the snail corner, and we just hit a little bit again. Luckily no damage again, as he's trying to go around our outside through this very, very tricky corner, as he's actually managed to pull it off as we've gone a bit wide, and we collide again. There's been a lot of contact so far in this race, but now we try and get behind him and get off his slipstream and see if we can make the move into turn 1, and I think we can, even without the DRS, and we just protect the inside. He's trying to stay on the outside, but there's no way he's going to get through, but we are still in P7. And the pit strategy says we're going to pit now, but we're going to wait, I think, because the tires still feel okay, so we should probably pit on this lap now, as we cut onto the back straight, or whatever we want to call it, as we now got Grosjean, and maybe another car as well. There seems to be 2, as that's Bottas, who's probably got a double slipstream. Obviously he's trying to make his way back, as I just turned in way too late, and he makes some contact there, as he's obviously trying to make his way back from the grid penalty, and he's done with ease. And now Alonso has pitted, which made me abort. I thought he was going to pit maybe a lap later, and now I've had to go an extra lap, which is probably going to screw me quite a lot, considering that the tires are, you know, going off quite rapidly now. As now we've got Leclerc and Magnussen behind us, trying to get up all in our face. At least I'm leading the race, which is something. But as you can see, Magnussen just tried to go around our outside. It was that Leclerc I couldn't really see, as we defended from them, and we now have to go in the pits. And indeed we do, as I just forgot I had to go in the pits and break a bit too early. But as you can see, we are going to have a little bit of a battle in the pits as well, actually, between Leclerc, Magnussen, and maybe Hartley or Gasly. I'm not entirely sure who it is in the Toro Rosso. We just saw the leaders go past there. Now we've got a long way down before it's our pit box, and we're going to hope for a fast pit stop. We should be out ahead of all of them if everything goes according to plan. Yeah, and I think we are. Even maybe some of them got held up a little bit, because the Leclerc should be much closer to it than he actually is. As we now come out just behind, is that Sainz? Yeah. So that's a little bit annoying, because we were ahead of him. We're actually down into P10, so I've lost 3 positions by, you know, staying out too late. It was a bit of a bummer. But now, if you cut on latest lap 7, there's been some smoke up ahead, and I think it's Sainz's engine who's blown up. It was the same thing in Bahrain, I believe. He had a DNF with the engine as well. So in some respects the game is realistic, because those Renault engines are very, very unreliable, as we just saw with, you know, Ricciardo at the weekend as well. And very, very, very disappointing. I caught on to lap 14. Absolutely nothing happened in those last 7 laps. There seems to be a trend where there's a lot of action before the first pit stop, and then after that there's not really any action at all, which is sort of annoying because there were a lot of battling behind me and a little bit in front of me, but I was just sort of like in, you know, space between no one, which is a little bit annoying. But obviously the AI is on 110, so that's not really much more I can do to, you know, get into that midfield and have someone to battle with. Hopefully we can just make some, you know, fresh into the R&D, so maybe we can get up and battle with Red Bull and those guys instead of being this sort of in between two places. As we finished in P9 and Alonso did get P7, so the McLaren just apparently had a lot of pace this weekend, but I did lose quite a lot. I think 16 seconds in the race to Alonso. That is quite bad considering I actually out-qualified him by a lot. But hopefully next time in Azerbaijan, which is one of my better tracks, I've had top 20 TT times in the world on both 16 and 17, so I'm quite fast around there, even though I haven't done a single lap on it yet. Obviously Vettel won. I don't really know how the championship is shaping up, but here are some more questions. It was a good race.
Your team must be ecstatic with how you're performing.
Yeah, I'm glad I can live up to their expectations. I think we're gonna go for like a more sportsman type. Yeah, there was a little bit of a contact. It was a racing incident. It was just a tap of the front wing, really, I think. Do I have to pass some department now or what? I think I have to. I can't really choose any neutral response. Yeah, the chassis department noticed. That's a bit annoying because I did get some... I think I noticed from last time I said something negative about the department, and apparently that made them like worse or something. I don't really know how it works yet. I don't care about these. The invitational events has no like impact this year. Last time the impact is something. I just can't really remember what it was. As now we're gonna look at the R&D, and we've got a few resource points, and I think we're gonna you know, make a chassis upgrade simply because a rate reduction both affects, I think, top speed and obviously cornering and everything, just because it's lighter, the car. So that's a good upgrade to do. And then we're gonna, I think next time we're gonna look at another durability upgrade, because it's very important that we don't have to take, obviously now we're not really fighting for a championship, but when we get further in the season, as you can see, my engine is worn quite a bit. It's quite important that you can maybe have another engine, you know, so you don't have to take that grid penalty, which could be costly. As you can see in the standings, we're still in P7. Obviously Alonso gained some points on us, and we're 4th in the championship, which I think must be my goal. You know, I don't really care about the individual standings that much because there isn't really that much to gain, but to get McLaren to be best of the rest, I think is the best we can sort of achieve this season. And that sort of brings us to the end of the video, guys. So, you know, if you enjoyed the video, leave a like, hit the subscribe button, a comment, anything. It's always appreciated. And with that, I'll see you next time.